Okay. Hello, beautiful people. Today, I wanted to remind you guys just how fucking incredible you are and try to help potentially remind you of this beautiful life that you have in front of you, because I feel like so often we can just kind of fall into distractions, or maybe we have certain responsibilities that we have to tend to in our life, or maybe, you know, we're looking after people in our life, we're giving a lot of our energy away, and that's not necessarily a negative thing. Like, you know, life is complicated, and there's a lot of times where we're put in certain circumstances where we kind of have to just, like, you know, just tend to certain things, or maybe we're in, you know, relationships and we've been pouring a lot of ourselves into our relationships and a lot of our time and energy and kind of prioritizing other people, which again, I think can be a really beautiful thing, and we all have to look out for each other. And I think that love is the most beautiful and magical thing ever. And I am definitely a lover girl who has gotten very consumed in my romantic relationships in the past, and definitely like been in a whirlwind of just like, wow, I could literally just lay in bed with you all day, every day, and I'd be like the happiest person in the world. And I have no regrets with that, because, you know, I think that it's beautiful, and I think that there's a lot of like really scary and sad aspects of this reality. And if you can find somebody that feels like an escape, like, I don't know, I'm a Pisces, so I'm an escape artist. I feel like I'm always somewhere else mentally, but I don't know. I think it's beautiful, and I think that we all go through different eras. However, I have really come to learn that, like, for me, and I think probably for most people, boundaries and balance are really, really important things. And as fun as it can be to get swept up in somebody else, or, you know, even when it's something that's not ideal and circumstances that feel out of our control, maybe a loved one that's sick that we have to look after, or we're really consumed with our work, or whatever it is, you know, I feel like we can just really sometimes forget like who we are, and that we're living this life, and that it's not guaranteed, and that it's really, really so short, and that we could die tomorrow. And I just think that recently I've been in an era of, you know, spending more time alone again. And I feel like I have spent a lot of my time and energy investing in other people over the last couple of years, and I really did not even realize like how strongly I was doing that until very recently, where now I feel like I'm in a period where I'm really pouring all of my energy and attention into myself, and I feel so good, and I feel so full of energy, and I feel like I've been reconnecting with different aspects of myself that I really had, you know, forgotten about or neglected for a really long time, or kind of, I guess, just put on the back burner. I've been very, very inspired by my younger self lately. I found these videos on Facebook a couple of days ago that just blew my mind, that I did not know existed, that I had not seen probably since I recorded them, from like 2011, 2012, where I'm just like dancing to music that I didn't even know that I knew back then, and just like talking so freely and just embracing every awkward aspect of myself. I feel like I've always dealt with anxiety since a very young age, and I feel like anxiety can make me kind of act like a shell of myself sometimes, or it can just make me act in ways that I feel like are weird or not fully expressive. So I feel like I am somebody that's just like, can be kind of awkward at times. And I think in my more recent years, I have really developed this like weird shame over that, or like, you know, I don't know, I'll have like an awkward moment and I'll go home and be like, Emily, what the fuck? Like, and I just like cannot sleep at night, and I'll like think about it, and I will literally start like verbally like making uncomfortable noises. Like it elicits like a visceral response out of me. But when I was younger, I feel like I just owned and embraced that shit, and like I thought it was so funny. Like I would just do something weird or like really awkward, and instead of like going mute and like feeling so uncomfortable and like shameful, I would literally just like laugh at myself so much, and I just did not take life as seriously, and I just was so much more like social. I think I was less self-aware too, so there's that. But like I just know that I would approach anybody, and like my friends and I used to go to the mall, and like I would just go up to anybody and I'd do weird shit. I would go up to people and just like start meowing, and like I just did not I just did not care, okay? And I've known this about myself, but then seeing it on video did something for me where I was like, holy shit, I need to bring this energy back. I've already been in kind of like this era this past year of like feeling really, really called to all the things that I used to love when I was younger, when I was like 14, 15, 16. Been rewatching a lot of the movies that I loved back then, rereading books that I loved from back then, and just like expressing myself in ways that I hadn't in a really long time. I dyed my hair pink, and I feel like my style has evolved so much over the last year. And I just feel like, yeah, really over like the last like 6 months to a year, like I have changed so much as a person, and it has been so fun and so beautiful. And I just feel like I've been so much more open-minded, and I have, you know, there's things that I probably would have been closed off to even a year ago that like I'm so open to now. And I think that's just such a beautiful part of aging and just letting time pass, is that things inevitably like shift and change, and our styles shift and change, and what we're interested in shifts and changes. And, you know, I just think that it's just such a beautiful and exciting thing, and I really think that's what life is about. And I think at times we can get a little rigid or stuck in our ways, or we can really heavily identify with certain ways of being, and that is just not a good idea, because really I think the core essence of who and what we truly are is like deep within and kind of behind all of this external fluff of this human world. And I think it's a really beautiful thing that we get to experience this human reality, and that like I get to have the experience of being Emily and my whole entire life, you know, just reflecting on my entire life and meditating on like the feelings that I've felt since like I was a young girl, and just like the essence of like who I am in this reality, and all of my lore, okay, all of the things that I've experienced, and like the crazy fucking things that I've experienced, and the things that I've manifested, and just like all of the situations that I have been in my life that have made me who I am. And we all have that, okay? You have your fucking lore too, and your experiences and your tastes and your styles and your eras. And I just think that it is such a beautiful and fun thing that we get to be here, and that we get to express ourselves, and we get to experience and have so much fun, and just really like own and embrace who we are and what feels right and what feels true to us in this experience. And we're all so different, and I really think that's what makes this experience so fun, is the diversity and getting to learn from one another and inspire one another. And I just think it's so important that we like sing our soul song, and that we really just get to be who it is that we feel that we are in this reality. And I say all of that to say that I really, really think that we are all the same underneath it all, and behind all of those things that we've experienced, and all of the dramas and all of the beauty of, you know, expression and stuff in this reality. I think that there is an unchanging part of us that is ever present behind all of it. And that is like the true essence of who we are. But in this experience, we get to, you know, experience being human and experience, you know, what this reality has to offer. And I think that it is not healthy to strictly identify with anything external, because I think that it can just cause a lot of confusion, because over time we obviously do shift and change. So if you're really, really tied to this one way of being, I feel like it can cause like an identity crisis, or it can just cause you to kind of like close yourself off from other ways of being that might resonate later on. And so I just think it's so important to allow ourselves to flow and to know what you like and dislike, I suppose, but also just like stay open to maybe those things changing. Because I can just tell you that this last like year of my life has been so fun and so different than any other time that like it makes me emotional, and I feel like I cry in every video I post. So I'm really gonna try to not do that. But I just feel like, I don't know, my life feels and looks so different, and I'm returning to so many things that used to bring me joy that still bring me so much joy. And I am such a slut for nostalgia, so I'm always down to listen to music that like I used to love back in the day. But I feel like it's just been hitting so good lately, and it's so fun to also like kind of rediscover things that you used to love, but from like a new place, because you can never go back to the way that things were. Things are never going to feel the exact same as they did in a passing moment, you know. But to be able to revisit things from a new state of awareness, and just from where you are now and what you've learned over the years, and just I don't know, from a new place, from a new vantage point. It's so special, and because it creates a new experience. It's never going to be like how it was before, and that's a really beautiful thing. And I know that sometimes I can feel sad because maybe we really, really loved the way that things felt before, and I think that that just means that we've lived like a great life, you know, like a life well lived. If you feel nostalgic, if you feel longing for an aspect of your life, I really think that comes down to just having gratitude for having experienced it, because nothing is ours to keep and nothing lasts forever, and literally everything is temporary, including, you know, our lives. So I think that's why it's so important to just be present, because we just have to try to enjoy things while they're happening, because again, things inevitably shift and change. And I think it's just really important to try to keep a positive attitude with that, and to be excited about it, and to be curious about it, and to have fun with it. So yeah, you guys, I have felt so inspired by my younger self lately, and just so excited to be alive. And every day I wake up and I'm like actually genuinely excited about like how I'm going to express myself this day, and what I'm going to feel, and what it is that I want to do. And I feel like because I've spent so much time like just investing my time and energy into other people, like I truly did not realize how much I was doing that in my romantic relationships. And now just being in a place where like I have no roster, okay, I have nobody I'm talking to. I'm actually celibate right now, and I feel like I'm like, wow, I just have so much energy, and it really allows me to be very present with my life, and really have this sense of intimacy with my life, and really be on the same page with myself, and like just kind of plot and scheme and plan with like what it is that I want to do with my life, and get really excited about the things that I'm manifesting, and the goals that I have, and the visions that I have for myself. And they all feel so tangible and palpable, and I know that they're coming to fruition. And it's just so beautiful that I get to enjoy this like journey of creating and just really be in tune with it. And yeah, you guys, like I'm really, really happy to be here. I just feel very excited to be alive, and it really, really feels like the world is like genuinely my oyster, and that there's just unlimited possibilities. And I think that you can feel this way while you're in a relationship, while you're tending to other people, while you're working a full-time job. I think I personally can just really struggle with those boundaries. And so I'm a very all or nothing person. And so I think, you know, in my next relationship, I'll really have to make sure that I'm prioritizing having time to myself. And even with my work, I prefer to work part-time and make less money, because I really, really value my free time, and I really, really value being able to have a slow morning with myself, and being able to just like, you know, take my time to make myself a meal, and just really like live life and feel into the feelings of everything, and not feel, you know, quite so burnt out from work and stuff like that. And I know everybody's different. So yeah, I'm not saying that you have to be single to do this, or you have to have nothing going on in your life to do this. I think it just took me getting to this place to really, really fully realize like, wow. My life is happening. I feel like I've neglected it for a long time, and just kind of put my goals and my dreams on the back burner. And I've really revolved my life around other people. And I'm remembering just like how many things I really do want to do, and how it just feels so, tangible right now, because I feel like I actually have the time and space to do it. So yes, in my next relationship, I will definitely prioritize more time for myself, and just make sure that I have a healthier balance. So if you are in a relationship or something, obviously you don't need to break up with your partner to do this, but I just think that like we can go through different eras. I've definitely been in this place before, where, you know, like when I first moved to LA, I really, really felt this energy of just like unlimited possibilities and freedom. And I was finally out of a relationship, and I felt so free, and so many beautiful, amazing things happened. And then, you know, I think just that's a part of life, is you kind of go through these different eras, and you forget, and then you return, and you forget, and then you return. And it's like, it's actually just a part of the process. And it's a really, really beautiful thing. And I think the more that we can try to stay, you know, remembering is great, but it's all part of the journey. And you don't, you know, waste time thinking about how long you fell off. You just jump right back on the horse. And like I said, even though I've had eras of like feeling like I'm returning to my life again and excited about my life again in the past, it's different now, because I've acquired so much more wisdom since then. My style has changed so much since then. My living situations, like just life is entirely different. So it's just exciting to be in this new place that I've never been in before, and to just feel yeah, so excited about what's to come and to be so intentional about, you know, the goals that I'm putting out to the universe and the things that I'm asking from the universe and the kind of people and connecting with, like, you know, how I want to feel in my life and what goals I want to come true and thinking about also, like, even though I am celibate right now and I'm really enjoying just like being able to pour all of my energy and focus into myself, I do want to be in love and I do want to have a family and I do want to have, like, I want to meet like my person that I really, really, really like can build a life with, that I just absolutely adore. And I feel like I've like developed so much discernment from, you know, my past relationships, and I've learned so much. And so I just really want to be very intentional. So just kind of even right now, like connecting with the energy of like this person before I even meet them, and just kind of the energy that I want to feel in my next relationship, and just like getting excited and giddy about that, and just getting excited every day to like put on cute new outfits and like try new hairstyles, or just like listen to new music. You guys, I've connected with like so much music that I either loved as a child or music that I've always wanted to listen to that I'm finally getting around to listening to, that has literally like changed my life. Like albums that are now my absolute favorite fucking albums that I like just discovered within the last couple of months or weeks even, that like feel like they've changed like the trajectory of my life and are now the soundtrack of my life. And it brings me so much joy, and it just brings like new different feelings and vibes, and you just like discover music that feels like it was literally like made for you. And same with like movies. I've kind of been slacking on my movie watching game recently, but I don't know, just so many things. And I really need to start watching movies again, you guys, because I fucking love movies. And usually when I'm spending a lot of time alone, I do watch a lot of movies, and that's how I've discovered so many of my favorites. Months ago, I was like going through a really rough time, and I watched Dinner in America and Lisa Frankenstein and When the TV Glows, I think is what it's called. I like watched all of these movies. I just had this era of watching all of these movies, and like they truly made me so happy. Lisa Frankenstein is like my favorite fucking movie ever. I love that movie, and it just makes me feel at home. and you guys, it's just like, the point is, there are so many things for us to all discover still, and life is happening now. And I just think it's very, very, very important that you and that I and that we all remember who we are and just how fucking cool we are. And like I said, remember your lore, okay? Remember your lore. And just like all of the qualities that make you uniquely you, and that nobody else is ever going to be like you, exactly like you. Nobody else is ever going to express themselves exactly like you or view the world in the exact same way that you do. You know, I feel like we just all have such a specific purpose here, and all of our different perspectives and expressions are all just so needed in this reality. And if you feel like there's something that you want to express, or feel like, you know, there's something inside of you that wants to be, expressed or created, or whatever, like, you just gotta let it out, you guys. I just feel like it's very, very important that we just be our true, authentic selves, and that we just own and embrace everything that makes us us, even your flaws. I really feel like that's what makes you stand out as a person. It's just owning and embracing every single thing that makes you you. And yeah, even if it's a perceived flaw to you, that's just your vantage point. To somebody else, that could be their favorite thing about you. And I just think that when I'm attracted to other people, really what draws me to other people is when I can tell they're being uniquely themselves and very authentically themselves. So I just think it's so important that we really connect with our own unique essence and energy. And a lot of times I think that for me at least, that requires kind of having some time alone. I think everybody operates differently. Maybe being around people is what makes you feel like yourself, but I do feel like there is something special about just having quality time with yourself to really just like soak in your own energy and your own vibe and your own aura. And you don't even have to get clear on like what it is that you like or dislike, because that can be very limiting, but just to be in your own energy, so that when you go through life, you naturally like are just attracted to what you are attracted to, like you specifically, and not, you know, from, you know, other external sources or other people's opinions or anything like that. I just feel like the more that we connect intimately with our own lives, we just remember the goals that we wanted to accomplish and the things that we want to do, and we just kind of I don't know, just really soak in our energy. And I just feel like that is so important. And I feel like we are better humans and better in our relationships and better, you know, out in the world when we feel fulfilled on a deep soul level within ourselves. And so I think it's really important and not selfish at all to take that time to pour into yourself and to make sure that you are prioritizing the things that it is that you want to do. Because if you don't, I feel like that will only cause regret and resentment maybe towards people in your life or something like that, you know. I definitely was starting to feel that in my relationships. I felt, you know, like I need my time alone, or else, like, I don't know, I'm gonna feel regretful or upset later on that I didn't, you know, take that time to really do the things that I wanted to do while I was young. So yeah, you guys, just make sure that you're pouring into yourself and tending to yourself as well, and prioritizing yourself and the things that you want to do, and just remembering that, like, anything that you see somebody else do, you can also accomplish. If one person has done it, we can all do it. And if nobody has done it, then maybe you're the person to do it, okay? Like, I just think that basically anything is possible, and that really there are unlimited possibilities if we can really just get stuck in our current circumstances and get frustrated, or, you know, get kind of down, or just have very limited point of views, or maybe people in our life are projecting a limited point of view for you, and it's coming from their place of what they think is possible. And it's so important to not internalize other people's opinions, because so many people in my life have told me that I would never be able to accomplish even the things that I have, just like even moving states, or, you know, coming out of my shell in certain ways that I have, or, you know, certain goals I've accomplished. I've definitely had people in my life be very doubtful, and that was coming from their own, you know, place of insecurity and what they think is possible for this life. So, and I also just want to touch on, I think it's really, really important to have people around you that remind you who you are and remind you how special you are. And that doesn't mean that we have to have, like, yes men around us that, like, are up your asshole all the time. I think it's very important to have people around you that, like, genuinely, like, know you and look out for you, and can maybe call you out or give their opinion if they think that you're, like, running a little off course or whatever it is. Obviously, it's very important to have people in our life that are very honest with us. But I think it's also really important to have people in our life that love us and that cherish us and that celebrate us, and that can help remind us, like, how special we truly are and how worthy of love we truly are. I think that lately I've been realizing that I've been spending time in friendships and connections that just did not make me feel good and weren't pouring into me. And then it's really eye-opening when I go and surround myself with friends that, like, love me and adore me and just think so highly of me, and I think so highly of them, and we're able to just pour into each other. And it's just like, it's the best thing ever. And I really think that, like, it can be so damaging to surround yourself with people that just don't see you, or that are intimidated maybe by your light or by your sparkle and want to dim it. I've definitely experienced that as well. I'm a very charismatic person. I'm a very energetic person. I love connecting with other people. I love, like, having intimacy, and I feel like that's definitely been a threat in relationships that I've been in, even though I'm literally the most loyal person ever. And so I feel like, you know, I've been around people that unconsciously or consciously wanted to dim me a little bit, or I felt like I needed to dim myself in order to make other people feel more comfortable around me. And I just think it's so important that we surround ourselves with people that are secure and that love us and celebrate us and aren't afraid to give us our flowers, and just lift us. That's truly what friendship is supposed to be, and what any kind of relationship is supposed to be. There's supposed to be support and love and admiration. And so I feel like if you're struggling right now, or you're in a place of, like, insecurity, just maybe reach out to a friend or a loved one and be like, hey, you guys, can you help remind me who I am? Or even just taking some time to journal and write out, like, 10 things that you just love about yourself. And just really return to a place of pure, like, love for yourself. You know, it's like, you know yourself better than anybody else does. You're the one that's, like, gone through all of your experiences. You know how hard certain things have been for you. You know how significant certain things have been for you that to other people might seem minuscule, but to you, you know yourself, you know your journey. And just being able to be your biggest cheerleader and your biggest support system, and be excited about, dressing up your character or going after the things that you want to do. I just think it's so important that we actually do that, you guys, because life is so short, and we just aren't guaranteed tomorrow. And I think that we just, you know, We got to be ourselves, and we just have to return to that excitement. And you could even like lay in bed and write out all of your goals and like all the things that you want to accomplish or the ways that you want to feel, and just get really excited knowing that like there is no limit and you're allowed to create your life, and you are the creator of your life. And obviously there's many circumstances out of our control, but we can control how we respond and how we feel. And I feel like we do have, you know, obviously a lot of free will to be able to co-create with the universe. So just getting really, really excited about what it is that you want to experience, and then making it a reality and putting it out into the universe, and just having fun and trusting that it's all going to come to fruition, you know, in divine timing. So I just think it can be really freaking exciting, okay? It can be really, really exciting. So I feel like I've really been living in that energy lately, and I just wanted to share that with you guys because I think that we are all just so worthy and deserving of living lives that we love and having fun in this experience. And yeah, I just know that sometimes we can kind of forget that, and it has been just so fun and exciting for me to kind of return back to like genuinely being excited about my own life and about being myself and about being a fun, hot, kind-hearted girl in the world. And we are all hot, okay? And I hope that we're all kind. And yeah, and literally what makes you hot is just being yourself. I'm not even talking about like anything external. It's literally just being you. The coolest thing you could ever do is be yourself and be fucking kind. So yeah, let's just return, you guys, and really have fun and really express ourselves wholly and completely, and not dim anything. And you are exactly the way that you are supposed to be, and whatever inner callings you feel you have for a reason. And yeah, and if you're feeling, you know, like you're just not around the right people, I think, you know, spend some time alone. It's not the worst thing. You really get to reconnect with your life. And then I really trust that your people will find you. And I'm in a very similar boat right now as well. So you're definitely not alone. But yeah, you guys, I love you so much. I hope that this video was inspiring in any kind of a way, and I'm very excited for all of us. And yeah, I will see you guys again in a video soon. Okay, I love you.